Good morning. It is 2:08 and today I want to test out this foundation for the third time within the past few days. I seem to have issues with it in terms of it accentuating texture a lot. I've tried it years before. I just could never get the formula to work for me, and the shade as well. Like, I feel like the shading is really off and I find it very complicated to the point where I feel a little confused to what my shade really is. This is in the shade, by the way, Light 47 Neutral, which is actually pretty yellow on me. I'm mixing it with the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Snow. Again, it's this one. I'm trying to see how it looks. I already have it pre-mixed here. I'll show you what it looks like so y'all can see for reference. What I've mixed is here with Snow. That's Snow, the shade Snow from Too Faced, and that's the KVD Vegan Beauty number 47, Light 47 Neutral Foundation shade. I'm going to see how this does. This is literally just on its own. I haven't mixed any MAC in it yet, just to see, what it looks like. I'm going to try it here. I feel like I sheared it out too much because the Born This Way foundation tends to be very, very sheer. It's very moisturizing. Okay, so I got two of these brushes, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. I feel like I like that one a little bit better. And I'm just gonna put it in the foundation mix here. That much. Oh, a little goes a long way. I'm gonna bring it on over to this side of the face as well. I haven't used a foundation brush in such a long time, it almost feels foreign to me. I forgot how much work it is. Sorry, that's actually Stacy, if you can hear her. I'm gonna definitely to shear this out with a sponge. It feels very like pasty. Feels very paint-like. It feels very heavy. And I don't think I used a lot. I think it just naturally feels very heavy, if that makes any sense. I'm using just a... So I set it the way I normally do, but with a very light hand, and I think it looks really smooth right now. It looks almost airbrushed. I kind of had to retouch a little bit because I noticed that my makeup was kind of starting to crease a little bit and it looked really sheer, so I did retouch it just with what was left over on the brush. I didn't get more from there because I feel like it was going to look way too heavy. So now what I'm going to do is apply the Tantour. I do notice though that I have a hard time blending. Oops, I think I might have, that's Stacy, glopped it on too heavy. And that's another thing that I noticed is that it's really hard to blend it, I'm sorry. Okay, so I got that. I'm just gonna get rid of some of the creasing and the excess here that I'm noticing. It almost looks like it's melting. And not in a good way. I am gonna put the new concealer from Benefit. I'm not too much of a fan of it. The Bling one, Cakeless Concealer. I mean, it's okay. I still feel like it's very, how can I explain it? It's very nothing new, if that makes sense. I feel like it's not, I didn't really do much other than brighten a little bit. And I have like a really hard time blending it with the sponge. I'm noticing that. And it's starting to look cakey again. I feel like this formula takes a bit of a learning curve for some reason. I don't know why I have a hard time blending it. Because it's very sheer, but also it has coverage, but it's patchy. Like, you have to really work with it or mix it with other items for it to be able to work properly, if that makes any sense. So after this, I just set it with my powder mix. I ended up skipping on the waouder powder, or what is it called? The waouder from Glossier. I ended up just mixing my Milani foundation powder with my Huda Beauty cupcake powder, the Easy Bake powder, and the Besame Violet brightening powder. I might have to mix a bit more, or maybe not actually. I have a little bit left. Really nice. I'm gonna finish everything else and see how it looks. Okay, so I already finished doing my makeup. I started doing my makeup around 2:08. It is now exactly 3:08. So I want to say I've had my foundation base on for about, sorry, that's Stacy, for about 40 minutes ish, more or less, because I know I didn't start like exactly at 3:08 putting foundation. If I'm not mistaken, I need to double check into that, how long it took me for me to start the actual makeup application and like finishing process. So anyways, I applied it. I layered on multiple products actually after setting it with powder. I used my Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer. I put the Huda Beauty. I used this as a blush and highlight, and I used the cream. It actually seemed to work really well. I was actually pleasantly surprised that it worked really, really well. Sorry, that's Stacy. It doesn't seem to work very well on my eyebrows. But other than that, I'm going to see how it wears, how it goes throughout the day. I'm going to only have it on for a few hours. I'm not going to have it on for a really long time. Probably like at most 6 hours. She's very talkative today. She's awake now. Yeah, she's awake. So for at most 6 hours, like I was mentioning, again, this is what it looks like. Not too bad. Not gonna lie, it's not too bad. I'm actually quite impressed. I think I really did have to like work with it, and I think the key is a brush versus a sponge. I feel like the sponge tends to kind of move it away and not set it properly, and I also have to let it set for a few minutes before I powder, because if not, it just creates this really weird texture, which is something I'm willing to overlook, but I think I'm gonna have to look for a bit lighter shade. I feel like the 47 is way too dark. I would have to literally like see how it also, wears throughout the day, because if it starts bringing me funky texture or anything like that, then I'm definitely not going to keep it, and I'm not going to reconsider it anymore. But anyways, getting back to the whole, let's see how it wears. So right now it is 3:12, and I'm going to get started on my day. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea, probably have a light breakfast or a snack, and that's pretty much it for now. I'll see you in a few minutes. So I've been wearing this foundation for about, I want to say about 4 hours. It's already 7:06. I've had it on since like 2:30-ish, more or less. So anyways, I've been kind of looking at how it's been progressing, and it's kind of hard to make it out in the camera on. Alrighty, so I'm gonna try and see if I can put this really, really close. I know it's a very awkward angle, but I am noticing some weird texture on my nose where it's kind of disappearing a little bit. It's starting to look really cakey, really worn in when it's only been a few hours. But that's pretty much how it looks. I feel like I shouldn't have to repeat. And also the oxidization, like it's funky, so I'm not too sure how I feel about it. Okay, I'm gonna show you the time. Do you see it? 8:35 a.m. I'm on my way to the gym. I'm gonna see how it lasts in my workout, but can you see what I mean by oxidization? By the way, I started doing this to my lips. I couldn't stand it anymore because it started feeling really, really dry. But this is what it looks like. It did move a lot more than from what it had moved previously, but it's starting to look like the makeup is sitting on top of my skin, like how I mentioned earlier. The longer I keep it on, I feel like the more obvious it looks. And I feel like it really brings up my texture here around my chin. Can you see that? I hope you guys can. It makes my pores look huge, a lot bigger than I remember them being without makeup. So I'm gonna see what it looks like and if it transfers on my face mask, on my cloth face mask. Let me go to my gym to do my workout and we'll see how it goes. I'm finally home and it turns out it does transfer a lot. There's like missing patches of makeup. That was just from wearing the mask. It moved here a lot too. It's starting to itch a little bit. And it's starting to, I feel like I can smell myself from like my face. Is that weird? See how you can see like how it does rub off? Because considering that, I mean, I know I was sweating and all, but still, I've sweat with the Huda foundation and it never rubbed off this bad. My mascara is running, so it's a good indicator that this mascara is no good, at least for me. And I guess that wraps up the KVD tryout. Now moving on to the next foundation.